Hey guys, we are about 10 minutes out of seeing The Rise of Skywalker. We've not talked about it at all. We've got Amy, Rashad, Sal, and me, Steele. I love the end, but there was bits, it just didn't.
It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I think I need to see it again to get into tune with it. The ending was the best.
Yeah.
And I predicted it. I think that was my thing in the prediction contest.
Yeah, I think I predicted.
Oh, we should just say this is like, if you have not seen the movie, do not watch this. But my prediction was that Rey would end up taking on the name Skywalker, and I got it. I got a lot of things that I didn't want.
Yeah.
Or one thing in particular that I was just like, really? But I don't know, I felt like it was the end of Revenge of the Sith for 2.5 hours. It was just so like,
okay. Yeah, the movie kind of steamrolls you before you have a chance to think like, wait, I'm not sure what's happening. Like,
I think TFA did that too.
Yeah.
TFA was just like, we're back in it. Like,
yeah,
like it just moves.
Yeah, I thought this was way more. Like it didn't even sort of. It was like sometimes like the storyline was like, and then we'll go to what?
Yeah.
And then they'd have time with like Dio, and it's like, yeah, we probably don't need this in the scheme of things. I thought Dio, like,
I like Dio.
He's fun. He won me over a little bit more.
Yeah, I just thought in that crowd of the film, it didn't get there. I love the end, but I'm pretty moderate on the film at the moment. I had moments that like like the X-Wing lifting up,
yeah,
that I've always wanted, but it just, I don't know, the music wasn't with it, or the build, it just felt like it didn't
I thought the
click in.
The music was different.
I really liked the music this time.
Like there were parts where I was like, oh, that's dope. And then there were parts where I was like,
there were a lot more callbacks to the old themes, which I thought were missing in the first two.
I just mean like the new music. Like, a lot of the new music that I heard, I was like, interesting, cool. And then a lot of the new music that I heard, I was like, yeah, that's...
I have nothing to say that's comparable to what you guys are going to say.
Did you like it?
I enjoyed it, yeah. There was things about it that I was just like, I could take or leave.
Yeah.
Such as?
Like, the whole Palpatine thing. I was like, honestly, like, it would have been so much better if she wasn't a Palpatine. It would have made everything so much more stronger, especially when she fights him at the end.
The thing about that bugs me is that like now I have to go through all these podcasts to find the thing where it's like, they're not just gonna say, your granddad's Palpatine, because they did.
On that note,
yeah,
like there's things that I don't like going into it, I didn't want that to be a thing.
Yeah, I don't know
that in
anybody who
particular.
wanted that.
JJ.
And now you've got to think about all like the logic. First of all, the logical loopholes of how he's still alive, they never touch any of it.
Yeah,
really.
they don't.
And now on top of that, you have to jump through the logical loopholes of, oh, by the way, he had a child. Oh, and that child was Rey. And then she got, it's like, there's a lot of shit.
I guess, like, I think I've already had enough time to get over him.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, how are they gonna? And then they just did it. So.
Yeah, that being said,
I'm sure we'll get a comic or whatever later on, but
I thought he was cool.
Yeah, her in particular, I think, like, what I don't like is I really wanted the one Star Wars story where the person who came from nothing was able to change their destiny and be the hero. Because every time they tell us that story, it's not anybody from nowhere. I guess unless you count Anakin Skywalker. It's pretty much from nowhere. Like, he's the only one. But like the Luke Skywalker story, turns out he wasn't from nowhere. He was,
but then he still has that air of like immaculate conception about him.
Yeah, so like there's not, I was hoping Rey would fulfill that.
Yeah.
But
it's a little disappointing.
What if, when
I don't like that. But what I really do like is that what this does is kind of flips it. So if she's a Palpatine now, that sort of flips, like, not only is she not nobody, she's like the worst, and like that's like being Hitler's grandkid and really turning around to be a hero. So I like that.
Yeah.
All for now.
Let's talk about things that we loved in it, because I feel like I've got glimmers of times when I was like weeping with joy and thought it was great, but like it was just so much. It was so full
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
Ben coming back at the end, like his redemption, amazing. I love that arc, and I said that it would be real. There's a lot of things, I was telling you this, there's a lot of things that I said before the movie, if this or this or this happens, it's gonna be real stupid, and then they happened in the movie, and I was like Ben like seeing Han, for example, is one thing, and I was like, that's gonna be real dumb if they do it, but they did it in such a great way, and just like,
I love that they established. So he sees, obviously you've seen it.
Right.
He sees Han Solo, and he establishes that it's like a memory. But just seeing him play Han Solo again, like that gripped me. The end sequence with the celebration and the hugs, and I may have pumped a fist for the Ewoks.
I did, yeah.
and there was a
I did not swear.
The Capitan.
I definitely did not swear in the cinema.
Check the tape.
yeah, roll it back. Oh, here's a big one. Leia has a saber. That was awesome.
That was
Yeah.
I love that. I really love
Ray's
that.
saber though was fucking dope.
Yeah.
The little like click wheel thing.
What about young Luke and Leia?
That was dope.
It was cool, but the de-aging didn't really work for me.
It was
a little wonky.
too weird.
Yeah.
But the concept was really cool. Like I liked that happened.
Yeah.
No, like you know me, I really try to just look at story. I kind of don't I just like, in the moment I'm watching it and I was like, dude, this is...
That was pretty cool. They're fighting with the flash shields down though for most of that. That was really cool.
I can't believe that, remember in The Force Awakens when she holds the lightsaber like that? And people are like, that means she's Palpatine. She's a Palpatine. And it's like... it's so funny that some of those goofy theories... Oh! What about all the clone Snokes?
That was
a little
pretty...
What's that about?
But yeah, I mean...
I love that.
That's all we know, you know,
Yeah.
like... if we take it at face value, it's pretty self-explanatory.
I also really like, was it what's the name of the planet? Exegol?
No, Exegol is
The space worm. Yeah.
Exegol.
Exegol. I loved like that like temple-y thing and going down, like the way all that looked was like so metal. It was so cool.
Every time they showed the like crowd, are they all Palp?
Are they all Palpatines?
Are they all
Snokes?
Snokes? Or what? Because like all they showed up with these hooded figures.
Yeah, I don't know.
My interest was piqued by it, but also at the same time, nothing ever became of it.
Yeah.
Like, were they actually there? Like, were they minions that just lived on the Sith planet?
They must, right?
Who's running those ships?
Yeah.
Maybe the ships are full of those dudes.
Yeah, with like weird, like half-formed Palpatine or Snokes. Yeah.
So yeah, on the Palpatine thing, no explanation, no nothing.
You just kind of buy it at face value.
Yeah,
He's here.
I mean, it is what it is. He's there.
I really liked. They did a lot of really cool cameo, like seeing Wedge again.
In the gunner's seat, grey hair. It was
the full flight gear.
It was rad because I had totally blanked out that he was going to come back.
Right.
I had no idea.
Because I had heard like maybe a year ago or something, but it had totally like filtered out of my head. I was when.
Yeah, I know you got excited about it.
I was a little bit like, that was cool. Did any of you guys read Resistance Reborn?
No.
Okay. He's like he's like a big part in that.
Oh, King Tom read it for me.
I heard.
And told me about it. So.
But anyway, I was a little sad that he didn't fly.
Yeah.
Like he
didn't what?
Like he didn't fly his own ship.
Well, he's getting
It's
old.
still cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
He's getting on.
But like
Maybe
when
they
I
don't have
think
enough-
of Wedge, like
He's pilot.
Yeah, I just think it was sort of cool to have him in a different situation that sort of fit his age, and it's sort of just like, who cares? It's Wedge. He's back.
What about the Lando reveal?
Oh, that was really cool.
That was super cool.
As soon as I saw him with the cane, I was like, that's Lando. That's gotta be Lando.
I didn't call it till he took off his face.
Yeah, the
Space Mix.
there was a few.
I literally like I looked at you, I was like, who's that? And you're like Lando. Like,
Yeah.
And then as soon as you hear him talk, you know
You're
it's
like,
Lando, even
yeah.
with the helmet on.
So sick. Seeing him on the Falcon again, just like taking it in.
When he first walks on,
Yeah,
that was
pretty
that,
nice.
that was pretty hot. Yeah, I don't know at the start how well or convincing Daisy Ridley was acting against Carrie Fisher. I don't know if it was me like going, this is old clips of her or not.
Honestly, they did a really good job.
They did a good job, but I felt like, well, I don't know, there's something about the tone of Rey's responses that...
Like her whole like temperament, mood, whatever you want to call it, like there was a lot of like unsurety. Like to me, that's what I read it as. But also like I read a lot of books leading up to this that like sort of I was like, oh, she's like this, because the books lately have been diving into a little bit after The Last Jedi. So I guess that's what I was reading it as.
Yeah.
I didn't see it as like, but like all the scenes themselves, like the writing and the like way they fit in, nothing felt cut and paste for lack of a better.
Yeah, it didn't feel
At
like
least not to me.
Yeah.
round peg, square hole or something.
Okay, we have to make them give each other a hug and her say, "Good job, Ray." Like, you know, like nothing seemed like that.
I did notice, which is whoa, a pirate just ran out. I feel like every scene with Kylo and Rey I really liked.
That worked really well.
And I loved how they expanded on the Last Jedi thing of them seeing each other and stuff. And I feel like without that, it would have been really hard to have. Like, it's such a good device to have them together then apart. And
It worked so well that there were times that, like when he shows up on the Death Star, I couldn't figure
that
out.
was my favorite
I was
scene.
like,
that
oh,
fight
okay.
scene was amazing.
in the White Room, in his room.
No, well that one was really cool. I liked the one on the Death Star.
Yeah.
I liked that fight scene on the Death Star.
But I thought he was like, I thought they were visioning each other, and I was like, oh, did he come through now? Like, can they just like? That's where I thought it was going. But then like she goes to the ship. It turns out he flew there.
I know you're gonna agree with me, but that shot when Kylo's surrounded by the Knights of Ren at the end, and then Rey is like about to kill
good.
Emperor,
Yeah.
and then she's like passes through the saber to him.
Yeah.
And then he makes that expression with his hands.
Yeah.
So good.
That was
I
cool.
love that scene.
it was so good to see Ben.
Yeah.
It was.
Fight with the blue
I
saber.
have issues with him taking off his belt. Because like then the costume, it looks like he just has a t-shirt. It just looks like he's wearing a sweater.
Under Armour or
like
something.
walking around the whole, he just has a
Yeah,
sweater.
no, I felt like that was a good change of look.
Yeah.
Like
He needs to
it's-
differentiate.
It's good that you know, like it's like a visually like, oh, he's different.
Yeah.
He's no longer the like tight like.
It did sort of seem like he wasn't Kylo Ren anymore, he was Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty tight. I really like
I didn't expect that to. First of all, I didn't know what I was gonna do if that happened. But I didn't expect the turns to hit me as much as it like after Solo, and she says like it turns slowly at that point, and there's a lot in that moment that really built it up, and I didn't expect to feel not sorry for him, but like to be on his side as soon as I was.
Yeah. It's pretty quick.
No, well,
I was like, well, do you remember the horrible thing? Like, I was like, no, dude, you can't just turn.
But you gotta, like, all that real world thing of being a space Nazi and that, it's Star Wars. It's a film where, like, Princess Leia loses the planet, but then consoles her new friend for losing the hobo buddy that, you know what I mean? It's
being in the moment in the movie, it works really well.
But
you just buy it.
It is the classic pro wrestling face turn, where the evil, he's such a good fighter and you respect him as a fighter, but he's a bad guy, and he eventually sees, like, he's got to take a stand. Like, even he can't take this, and then he turns to help the good guy. When he did the face turn, again, speaking of wrestling, like, one of the things I really wanted was the big run-in at the end with all the ships, and I just don't think it was done that good. Like, I thought the whole thing with having to go through that red, like, and then all those ships did it, it was sort of like, yeah.
I buy it because I bought it because the first thing was like, oh, she's showing us the way, like whatever, and then I'm like, yeah, but it looked a little crazy, and everybody else flying through here looked crazy, right? But then they show them, and like even the capital ships just like bonk, and it worked. So I was like, okay, everybody just bonked their way through.
I was sort of just like, how are they even all gonna? Like they all line up to go through? Like it would have been.
Bonk, 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 bonk.
They take turns. They take a number. But yeah, that.
I wanted more from that. I wanted like a Return of the Jedi length, like space fight with the ships.
Yeah.
I feel like we just got a glimpse and then it was over.
I don't think the beat of it was like I don't know. It just wasn't like it wasn't the moment of like the burst of joy.
I got chills seeing that.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Then it went away.
Yeah, I felt like it wasn't what it should have been.
The moment was there, but like they didn't spend the time with it. Like they had the moment in your, and then like the rest of the fight kind of happens for a little bit.
And then Thor.
Skynet or whatever.
Skynet.
Which was just like it was good that it was just like a sort of like an ion cannon, and it just sort of froze them for a little bit. But that was like, you know, you got to expand what Star Wars is used for. But that was like pretty ludicrous on first watch.
Okay.
I felt like that was this movie's layer through space.
Okay.
Of just like the new power where you just like, oh,
right.
Okay.
But I think for me, as soon as she starts pulling the ship down in the beginning, I'm like, oh, like we're doing this now.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty sick.
I still don't. That was the part where I was like, okay. Like, because like, you know, the whole Jedi thing and like, that's the whole reason, like, well, they can't just do everything, you know, like, they are just people in limited power.
It was a little Force Unleashed.
Yeah, that was my like, and
it was when she did it, I was like, finally, someone's pulling something out of the sky. Like YouTube will just be like, yes,
we got one.
We got it, YouTube. What you've always wanted.
That the YouTube boys will be happy.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't exactly what they. It's like me claiming Ignite the Green.
Yeah. I feel like we didn't get. They introduced a lot of new characters that we didn't get any time with.
I feel like
Rose got sidelined too. Like the whole movie.
I wish there was a lot more Rose. But I thought, like in the beginning, I was like, man, that sucks. She's not in the whole like. But then she came back at the end, and there was like, she had some really good moments.
Sure.
That I thought was cool. That I was like, okay.
What's the actor's name? The one from Lost.
Dominic Monaghan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like barely in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
But I mean, that's what JJ does. Like he brings a lot of his actors in from other shows.
He killed his homie.
Yeah, he killed his homie.
Well, yeah, because he famously like didn't turn up that day. There was something where he was like, yeah, I'm not reading out the death warrant. Like when they like in The Force Awakens, and they've got just like set lines so they can like use as they need in the editing.
Yeah.
He like wouldn't do the ones that were like would mean they could edit him to die.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
So he got his on the last one.
Greg Grunberg.
Yeah.
He was also in Heroes.
I remember that. Did he have a power in Heroes, or was he just a dude?
No, he was like the stepdad of somebody who had powers, I think. No, he did have powers. I don't remember.
Wasn't he a cop or something?
Yeah, he was a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched Heroes, but I have it all on DVD.
It's good sizzle for Rashad's life.
Yeah.
What else? C-3PO.
Whoa! He came out of nowhere.
He had.
He was on one this movie.
He had some very good lines. I feel like he's the funniest in the J.J. Abrams films.
I can agree with that.
But again, like the pacing of it, I don't know if I'm going to watch it again and it's going to click more, but I just thought the pacing of that whole one last look at my friends, it was just like super rushed, and then it got double erased. Like, do you know what I mean? They just like, and now here's your memory back.
Yeah.
And even and like the Chewbacca fake out as well, where it's like, it must have been another ship. What immediate deduction.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
with that I was like, I was telling you after we got out, I was like, they should have just left it, and then she senses him on the ship, and it's not like they show him being like walked onto the ship, and it would have been like more of a fake out that he's gone.
I bought it at first.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was like, did they just do that to my boy?
Well, they,
Yeah.
I felt like did they show in the establishing shot that they had multiple?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's, do you know what I mean? Then I can, like, that's what I mean. But when you're watching it the first time
Yeah.
and you're like, oh!
Like it's nothing sacred.
But I was like, here we are, dude. The last.
Yeah, we're really doing this.
You know.
What did you think of Luke Skywalker? It was pretty rad. I was surprised to go back to Ahch-To. I didn't know that.
I didn't.
That was a quick turn.
Call that.
Fuck
But
this, I'm
also-
going back to the island.
I liked that her, like, deduction. Like, she ended up in the same place that he ended up.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's him who has to come back for her. So I thought that was a really cool, like, saga-wise, that was an interesting turn, like a really good turn, I thought.
One thing that didn't, like, the storyline I had trouble keeping up with was the killer, the guy that used the dagger to kill the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ship was on the desert party planet because he was looking for the.
They were looking. Wait.
No,
What was the series of events?
They were looking for the item,
The dagger.
and he never found it.
And he died on the
But
planet.
he did actually find it because he never left the planet. Luke said they tracked him there and he knew, but they never found him. They only found his ship, and they just didn't look underground.
So did he kill
Apparently.
Rey's
Yeah.
parents and then come to that planet with the knife and die?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Wait. So why? So he killed them with the knife. Why did he go to that planet?
I think that he didn't want, because he was still supposed to find her. So I think that's where he went to hide out and like,
I don't know.
because the whole thing is Palpatine wanted her back, right?
Yeah.
So he did part of the mission, but he didn't finish it, and then he went to like hide out, and that's where Luke went to search for him but never found him. And he was just hiding out there the whole time, or hid out there and died and left his things.
Interesting.
That's what I got.
I really liked all the voices at the end. I wish you could have seen them, but that was sick. Like Anakin and Mace and Yoda. And I didn't catch the other ones you were saying. It was
Kanan. Yeah, that was-
and Ahsoka was in there.
I saw Luminara. I thought I saw Ahsoka in the credits, but now I'm second guessing.
Yeah, you told me you saw Ahsoka.
I saw it.
And
But I know I
yes,
saw Kanan.
but Mace Windu was in it.
Mace Windu.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was sort of just like, I was thinking so hard of like, who's that?
I thought I heard Ezra, but I didn't see him in the credits. I was looking
You
for him
didn't.
in the credits.
You didn't hear it.
You did. You don't know where his roots, mate.
What if Palpatine found Ezra and Voldemorted his body into what was left of Ezra and just like...
Nope.
I didn't get to think much in the film, like of outside, but I was sort of like, after they left the Death Star planet, I was like, oh god, I hope the Ewoks celebrated the, like, how am I going to get the Ewok? Because, you know, they'd shown the
after they
picture
leave,
of Warwick
yeah.
Davis with
the helmet,
the Ewok
mask.
head. So, my things, I did this tweet the other day, like the 5 things I want to happen. It was Ghost Anakin.
Didn't get it.
Ghost Anakin talking to Ghost Luke Skywalker.
They were talking in unison.
Well, I would say yes on Ghost Anakin. We got it. We got the voice.
We didn't get to see Ghost.
We didn't get to see Ghost
Yeah.
Anakin. That would have been awesome. I thought he was going to be at the end. That was his home too. Oh, wait, never mind. Sorry. He wasn't. It was never his home.
What? Tatooine?
That. him
No, he just stayed there one night. It was like an Airbnb for him.
Yeah.
Anakin?
Yeah.
What?
That wasn't.
Oh,
his home.
that home. Oh, but
Yeah.
the planet. Yeah.
No, I guess that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Was
okay.
She went to Luke's home.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't see Ben with them.
You know what I thought was gonna happen? I thought we were gonna get, and I guess this is just me reaching, but she goes in there and she slides down, and I thought she was gonna like go in there because it looked like she was exploring, and I thought she was gonna find like a box. In the comics, Luke goes to Ben's home and finds
Finds
a
the
box
journal,
that says
right?
Yeah.
for Luke. I thought she was gonna find a box
For
that
Rey.
said for Ben.
Oh, for Ben?
Because it wouldn't be for her. Like, he never knew her. But I thought she was going to find the box for Ben.
Yeah,
and she was
okay.
going to like, and I thought that was going to be her not saying it, but like Rey Skywalker. You know what I mean? I thought that was going to be the way
That'd be really cool.
Like she was gonna take the things that they left
I
behind.
love that shit. I love it.
It's so weird that like I found it like a bit of a mess in the middle, but the end, it was exactly.
We got to where we wanted to go.
It got it went exactly what I wanted to happen happened. With someone asked her name, and she decides to say Rey Skywalker. And then when she paused, I was just like, and then when she said, I was just like, I think I stood up. I was like, yes. I was so happy.
As soon as we saw the homestead, I just started crying because I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Well, that's obviously what Big Kev wasn't allowed to go see. They told him not to go, which was tripping me out.
Is that what he wasn't allowed to see?
Yeah, because it was the last scene of the movie, and he says they would blow his mind.
Oh.
And so I'd sort of predicted like it was like what thing? It's got to be something that you've seen before to blow your mind, I think. Okay. And it's like, well, that's the logical last set. But then when I was looking at the set, I went into real world and I'm like, what bit of this is a set? Like they have the LED things from the Mandalorian around it, making the landscape and stuff. But the ending was like
perfect.
So perfect. It was sort of like, right now, it's my least favorite of the three.
Okay.
But it's got my favorite ending of the three.
It's hard to say. I think Last Jedi is probably my favorite of the three, but this was as much fun as Force Awakens for me. I had a lot of fun watching this.
I think I put it in the middle.
Yeah.
What's your number one?
Last Jedi, this one, and then TFA.
Okay. What about you, Amy?
Probably the same. Yeah. I don't know.
I know you didn't really like Last Jedi.
Yeah, switch those two.
So, what is it? This?
It's Force Awakens, this, and then Last Jedi.
Okay.
So...
there's a trailer for it now. Everyone, if you want to go see it. This might jog my memory to talk about more things. I did very much appreciate that we got a follow-up on Rey's parents' ship from the flashback. Because that was something that I remember in 2015, 2016, I was so adamant to like, I need to know what this means. And like, I sort of felt like we deserved an end. Like that's something that like, it's not like some random backstory. It's like you've said, this is a mystery. So you have to like end up solving it. So I'm glad he got to do that.
There has to be a payoff for it.
Yeah.
I really like. Did you like the ending?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I'm in order of release.
Okay.
Of release? What do you mean?
That's my favorite ones in the sequel trilogy. So Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. I kind of think I feel like Last Jedi is the best of the three films, but I just had so much fun with The Force Awakens. But I have to rewatch.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I have to rewatch this, and I feel like I'm going to enjoy it far more now, knowing where it's heading. Because the whole time you're just like, and I didn't get the Chewbacca fake out. Didn't get me, but the Rey one. I was buying it for. I was like, maybe they'll go that way. Maybe they'll go that way.
For which?
Oh, okay.
The Rey, the Rey death fake out.
I thought, you know what it made me immediately think of? I thought of Ahsoka and the sister.
That's right.
That's what I started thinking of.
Yeah.
You remember in the Clone Wars when Ahsoka like dies, and the sister like gives her like
yeah.
There was like that kind of moment that's like I kind of saw it coming, especially since that power was established. And then she even explains it. She doesn't say like, oh, I used the Force to. She says, I gave him some of my life, and I'm like, that sounds mortal.
Yeah, I knew when they did the worm.
Yeah,
they were setting it up for something.
Yeah, and it was such a like it's such a trope that I heal the big beast. You know, you pull the splinter out of the elephant or the rhino's foot or whatever. But I was just like, oh nice, they haven't done this one in a film before. Yeah. Great.
Like, every video game they've done it, so I bought it immediately. I was like, yeah, they can do that.
But then, when they showed that power, I'm like, that's coming back. Kylo Ren's got nothing to worry about.
And then that's what happened. Never mind. As soon as they did it on the worm, I was like, that's what's going to happen. Either she's going to use it on him or he's going to use it on her. But then I thought...
the quicksand bit that freaked me out. Quicksand's always terrified me, and I was like, when they actually went into it, I was like, no.
Then you tapped my shoulder and you said something.
I do not like the quicksand.
But going back to the healing thing, your favorite scene was like the Death Star fight or whatever. I love that last moment when she's so mad and she takes the saber.
That's why. Because it's like you're not expecting her to do that.
Yeah, and then she has that moment of regret, immediate regret, when she can feel Leia passing and he's just like, oh, it's just like, bad timing. Ugh.
Yeah.
I love that. And then she has that line too, right, where she says like, I wanted to take your hand, but it was like, I wanted to take Ben's hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
good.
I actually, this is something we haven't even talked about, which is like such,
Great scene.
yeah, this is, I can't believe we haven't talked about this. Raylo.
That disappointed me.
That disappointed me too.
I don't. That
I
was
didn't
not
want it.
something I really cared about.
I don't care about it, but also there are people that are like so like about it or not about it that I'm like, okay, like I hope the people that are about it, I hope they're happy.
Yeah, because
They have, like that have to be.
It's like for a 30-second bit that
Yeah.
just disappears. There was more lead up between her and Finn or her and Poe.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, her and Poe. It felt very much like.
Isn't it for that first
like
scene
that
together?
It felt like a Ron and Hermione kind of thing.
Or like
Yeah,
Han and
maybe.
Leia.
There was some weird like
Yeah.
like tension when they had that
And then
the
when
exchange.
they're sinking, Finn's like, "Oh, I have to tell you something," and then he never tells
And
her.
like the whole movie, they keep bringing it up and it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
I feel like this
Yeah,
is
that
a
is
good,
odd.
good like I think this is a good follow through from The Last Jedi. Like I feel
I
like
agree
it
with that.
went well.
Because yeah, definitely there was like in The Last Jedi there was
have the
like
connection.
there was like an intimacy
You know,
between them
there's
with
a
the fingers
connection,
touch. I'm not like a Raylo.
Right.
I wasn't pro or con. Like it's just not in
Yeah,
my sphere of things I really
Yeah.
care. Like it's like that's. Oh yeah, just do it well because I'm more worried about other things. But I feel like that, like them together, that connection and how it ended up was like for me one of the most enjoyable things of the film.
Yeah.
I liked.
Yeah,
I didn't want it, but it worked.
they did it well.
Yeah.
The connection, like that was the main.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Amy. We'll start with you. When it was like it got to this nervous tension after Rey got brought back to life. Did you want them to kiss or not?
No, I didn't care if they did or not.
No, but in that moment,
In that moment, no.
you didn't want them to kiss?
No, I was like, okay, cool. He brings her back, and then they'll go and help fight or do whatever.
What did you think, Rashad?
I didn't want it. I knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
But did you like know it was coming or just?
I didn't
you felt
know
it?
confirm. You can just see it
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the actors' faces. You're like, well, this is weird.
I didn't think it was weird.
I was fully like tongue him. I was like, he just brought you back to life. Just get your slug out and get in there, you know?
For a second, I
Hut style.
wow.
Do him Hut style.
We're going de-helmeted Bausch, are we?
Yeah.
For a second, like the shot is she goes down and he picks her up. And for a second, I almost thought they were gonna do he was gonna like kiss her and bring her back, and I was like, oh, I don't like that.
That'd be real
But
bad.
as soon as she came back, I was like, cool, this is fine.
Yeah, I'm cool. That's done.
Yeah.
We're good.
And it was interesting because there's been so much conjecture about how Rey gets her powers and stuff, that Kylo Ren saw the power and then copied it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That was really cool.
Like it felt like he only knew about that power because
Saw her do
Right.
it.
saw her do it, and then he was like harnessing like light side force power
Right.
to do it. So
That's
I
a really cool point.
Yeah.
That's a really, and that's the whole.
but
That's like one of those book things that everybody's like, why can she do mind tricks? Well, she kind of like.
the whole I was happy as well just for I know a lot of like great Star Wars fans, they really wanted it.
Yeah.
And So
I hope they're happy. Yeah, for me, I definitely hope they're happy.
And I did. If it didn't happen, I was just like the railing. It's gonna like the you didn't get what you want. Like I just thought there was gonna be like a nasty blowback.
This movie isn't gonna please everybody.
No.
Oh.
Not by a long shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I still just think it's just not a smooth movie.
There's just so much, like, I mean, we're talking about a 9-movie series. There's so much to wrap up. Like, where do you, like, what fits and what doesn't? Like, to me, the focus of this film is clear. It's about him and her.
Yeah.
And it's about, like, it's about the legacy of the Resistance and the Palpatine.
Right.
Which, to me, like, the reason why like, Palpatine wasn't a thing that had occurred to me or that I considered, or a thing that I'm kind of like it comes to that real EU place. I'm like, we're cloning the, okay.
Oh yeah, it's like script
Dark
consultant,
Empire, dude. It's straight
script
up
consultant Cam Kennedy.
Yeah. Tom Bietch. But like
those comics had nice covers though. Those Dark Empire covers, they had the harder covers.
The bold colors.
Yeah.
And there's one panel that I love in that comic book. To this day, the panel that's dope is when Leia sees Vader and then it's Luke. Like it comes to her.
Oh wow.
It's like a couple of frames and then it's like it's like the silhouette and she sees Vader's face, but then the silhouette goes away and it's Luke's face, and then the full body is still the same silhouette.
Oh wow.
Gangster.
You have to send that.
Wowzers.
The reason that I like Palpatine being back is because it does it ties the entire saga.
Yeah.
Because if you take that out, just short of Anakin's voice, then you really have nothing to tie the prequel.
I do feel like it's kind of weak that they did it in a way, because he's just back for this last one, and there's no real build-up to it, and we just have to buy it immediately that he's back.
Yeah, that's true. But then also with his whole like, I did Snoke, like then I'm like, oh, okay, well this is connected to that one.
I buy it enough. There's enough in this movie that I buy. I'm like, yeah.
Like,
I'm okay with Palpatine being back, but it's just the Rey being a Palpatine is the issue that I have.
That's the biggest issue.
can't agree more. And also the hokey like, you're a Palpatine. Like it was just sort of like, it was, because there was always the thing of discussion is like, how do you explain that? And it's like, are you just gonna like, someone's gonna say, here's the family tree, and that's what they sort of did. And it was like, you went for this thing, and I felt like you told it, like you made a decision that's sort of arguable, and you told it in the cheapest way possible by blatantly just going, bleh.
Yeah, I mean, if they had like left anything in like the prequels about Palpatine having a daughter or a son or whatever, it would have made a lot more sense. Like even just like a throwaway line, but they didn't have any of that in the prequels.
Yeah, when did Palpatine? When did he like?
Conceive.
Yeah.
When did Sheev conceive?
Hashtag.
The truth is out there.
Do you think we can get a t-shirt going with that one?
Wait till that comic comes out.
Oh wow. Dude, maybe that can be the maybe that can be Emily Lynn's erotic fan fiction for Celebration. When did Sheev conceive?
Sheev has been unsheathed.
What do you think? Like, it's weird because I'm in a very similar place with The Last Jedi, where we went to a pre-screening, and you just don't know what the people think. Like,
you know me, I don't care what people think. Like, what I said on Twitter yesterday was
on Twizzler?
On Twizzler.com.
Twizzler? Is that like Twizzler's Twitter?
Yeah. It's like Twitter, but you got to type with the keyboard's on the floor. I thought that was done well.
What did you say on Twizzler?
I forgot now. Oh, I said I hope this wraps up as good as Star Wars Rebels does. Because to me, Star Wars Rebels is the one Star Wars story that got an ending, besides Return of the Jedi, that got an ending that like felt unified and did the whole thing together. So I was hoping for an ending that felt as good at that. And I feel like that's. I don't know if I don't.
I have a question about the ending. So, I think I asked you this too. They take out the command ship or whatever, right? And then Palpatine dies, and then all the other ships just turn off. I didn't understand how they all just were they all connected somehow? They just
they were connected because they needed the radio signal to steer the other ones because they weren't.
Like the planets over, like there was a ship over Endor, and then there was a ship over whatever. They all just
no.
Those were people like
that was
the rest of the
That wasn't like the Star Destroyers in Palpatine's ship in fleet is the last order or the final order. Yeah. And then those ones that you saw like above Cloud City and stuff, they were first order.
Yeah.
So like one of my favorite lines of the film, which I can't remember, but it's like it's General Pride or whatever his name is says, oh, they don't have an army, and it's like, oh no, they're just people. Which I think, which I'm interested to know if angry people, that's gonna like make them angry. Yeah, but we'll find out. We'll find out.
I like that.
But I love the line. The line of just like
with the ship just went to war basically.
Yeah.
Kind of like was it Dunkirk?
Yeah.
Reminds me of Dunkirk.
No more.
Yeah.
ah, the story of Dunkirk's so good.
Okay, we haven't talked about the Knights of Ren.
They were in the movie a lot more than I thought, and I'm very happy about it.
Okay.
Yeah, they were just there. I don't think they lived up to the.
They were in the movie. This is much more than the Praetorians.
They're in the movie more than Captain Phasma's ever been in a movie.
That's a fact.
Yeah, no Phasma.
She got hosed, dude.
No Phasma.
The I thought but like yeah.
Okay, well,
but,
hold on.
Wait. No. But the Knights of Ren, how they sort of just turned on Kylo Ren. It was sort of like what's the Knights of Ren's like? Who's their boss? Who like do you know what I mean? They were sort of weren't they doing what Kylo Ren wanted them to do, and then they turned on him because like it.
I guess we'll find out a comic book tomorrow. Right?
Yeah.
Did they come? They didn't come from Exagoria or whatever it's called, right?
Well, now we don't. Well, no, because he's never been, right?
Right.
It took until he finally found his way.
But they were around before he went there, or they only showed up after?
No. He just went there in this movie.
I'm talking about the Knights of Ren.
They've been around. In fact, in the comics, they're fighting young Ben and Luke.
Oh, you're
the
right.
Knights of Ren are like fighting. So like they're around before he.
They're just like
there's
squad.
one. Yeah, there's one in the that's not in any of the movies. So presumably that's the one that like Kylo killed.
Ah, to take over. Okay.
He doesn't have his mask. Clearly he's like, that mask is not my. This is my jam instead. But yeah.
Alrighty. Have we missed anything? Is there
anything we haven't covered?
What about you can, I don't mean to intrude, but you were taking notes for your review. Is there anything of note from your notes that we could? Because I admire your professionalism.
Why were you taking notes?
I can't remember things.
No, but for what purpose were you taking notes?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah.
Tell the good people of the internet.
For my channel.
Oh, okay, tight.
Movie checklist.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Rashad's always telling me that.
Yeah.
That
movie checklist.
Your review got more. No, your reaction
got more than us.
It's not a competition, Amy.
That's the best video I have to date. So.
I think mine. I didn't look at it for ages, and I looked at it again, and it was like a staggering amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
because I cried. That's why.
Oh, really?
So did he.
So do my kids.
I made it for him.
Lizzie, I guess.
Yeah, I cried in that bit for C-3PO, and now I feel like I've brought it.
I'm dehydrated from crying the entire time.
I did cry a fair bit in that. Yeah. Okay, go through the notes, Amy. Amazing book, by the way.
Everything else. Oh, thank you. It was in Loot Crate. I was sponsored by Loot Crate for a minute. I'm not second.
Oh God, stick it to your own.
We talked about pretty much everything in here that I can actually read, except I saw on Twitter, because somebody I follow on Twitter went to the premiere last night and they mentioned Harry Potter. Like, it feels a lot like Harry Potter, and I was watching it and I was like, you know what? It feels a lot like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2, which I only say because I'm a massive, like, you guys are to Star Wars what I am to Harry Potter. And there's a lot of comparisons that I can see that are really related to Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. Like C-3PO, he has the exact same line with Dobby on the beach when he gets his memory erased for the Sith, like, tracking information. Rey is the chosen one, like Harry Potter is, and she has to go and defeat, like, Palpatine, who is basically Voldemort, even though she's related to Palpatine, but Harry is technically related to Voldemort in so many different connections that I could probably spend 30 minutes talking about.
That's what Harry Potter needed a scene of, where it's like, you are a Voldemort.
Yeah.
In the books. It's in the books, but it's just not in the movie.
I noticed the Harry Potter comparisons too, and I couldn't quite place them as well as you did, but the one that I kept coming back to was like how Palpatine's like half cooked and like needs like essence or something.
That's
It's
the
very
loosest Harry Potter connection that you can make.
well. I
you
grasped for it and I held on for the whole
Because then you
time.
could also say that it's like if Rey's Harry and then Poe and Finn are Ron and Hermione.
Right.
So they have that trio.
Yeah. It works.
I thought the comedy was spot on.
It's
Like
very
everything
good.
that was meant to be funny was real funny.
Yeah.
Although I feel like people mistook me in the screening that sometimes when I'm really excited, I just start laughing.
I don't like. There was a guy on this side of us. I don't think I liked sitting near him.
Yeah, he
I
said a
don't
bit
think
cynical.
he didn't seem like he was laughing for a good reason, and I don't like that.
Like-
And I never thought about that because normally I'm like I'm gonna watch the movie. I don't care what you say. But today I was talking to a lot of the people at the lining up.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, you're in there and you're in there with people that like love this thing and like it makes a difference. And all right, I'll give it to you. Liningup.net.
It's true. I do love the opening crawl. Just went for it right away. It just was like we're going for it. We got 2.5 hours.
Opening line.
Yeah.
I'm
What
with
was it?
that.
It was like
The Dead Speak.
The Dead Speak.
Yes, I was like, when that letters came out, I was like, oh!
I'm saying it. This is the most metal Star Wars
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, this is the most metal.
But about the laughter and the unintended humor, when Rey and Kylo kissed,
You started laughing.
because I was just like,
Here we go.
I was just so
I
fun.
know
Like,
his because then
no,
he
I was
pumped his
sort of
fist, too.
excited. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. I'm into
The
it.
theater laughed. I think when Kylo died or something. There was like some really. I was kind of like
I
thinking.
think it was
to
when the
myself,
switch.
The
'cause,
switch
like,
happened.
She kind of gets up and
Yeah.
then he's like, ooh.
And then they were like, ha, 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 ha,
I got
ha.
it, but I'm like,
I'm like, what?
no,
He's dying.
Like, dude, he was like fucking pressed.
Alrighty. Well, what would Amy? What would be your initial out of 10? And maybe just a final, like a preface to that.
I don't know. I'd have to see it again to give it like a real good once-over score. But I think I would probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10. There's like the things that I don't like are like almost outweighed by the things that I do like, but then there's just some things I'm like I can't quite forgive it for that.
Yeah. Okay. Rashad.
I'll go with a 7 out of 10. It's pretty unforgivable that she's a Palpatine, if I'm gonna be honest. It kind of sucks. But that's like the biggest blemish on the movie. And there's a lot of little things I can forgive because it's really fun still. And I was blubbering like the whole movie. Like the stuff they got right, they got really right. Like you said, they nailed the ending. Like couldn't have had a better ending if I had thought one or asked for one. But there's like those, like the Palpatine stuff, like you just kind of have to buy into a lot of stuff. And I don't like that she's related to that. It's kind of a bummer. But yeah, I'm gonna go 7 out of 10.
I guess I'll go like I'm like with you with the Palpatine thing. Like I don't love it. I didn't want it. But like I said, like what I think about when I think about it now, I don't think about like
Yeah.
now I think about like that's cool. She came from this and she got to do this. So I'm gonna go with 8. Because this movie did a lot. It had to do a lot to end this saga, and it was heavy, but there were laughing moments, there were moments that made me cry, and there was like it felt big, and it felt like they did the saga justice.
I agree.
Which I think is the most important thing that this movie had to do.
I agree. The good outweighs the bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think out of all the films, it's got the best ending and the worst twist.
Yeah.
So there you've got, like with a lot of Star Wars fandom, you've got some conflicting things to deal
We
with.
didn't talk about.
Oh, wow.
General Hux.
I called that. That was my prediction at the prediction show.
I don't know if that was like a full.
Good call.
Like it was like a twist, but an anti-twist because he wasn't actually good. He was just being.
doing it for
It was just for the
pilot.
politics.
It was a
which was cool. I liked it that it
I
was.
like that, but then it just kind of went away
Well, yeah,
5 minutes later.
You don't die.
That was one that I was like,
Thank you.
oh,
Yeah.
like as soon as it happened, what? That was a really good one. That was short.
Yeah.
But and then I liked the reasoning too.
Yeah.
Like that worked well because it wasn't like he's too bad or I don't want the Sith to take
just
over.
like, I hate that guy.
I just wanted order. Like it wasn't anything like
I wish
like
they
that.
maybe left it on a little
You
bit
know?
longer because it just kind of ended.
Yeah.
It just stopped.
It ended quick, but the moments that we had with it,
Yeah.
I loved, dude.
Well, the way that they presented the twist was so bad. It's like you see Finn and Poe fight like they normally do, and then you just hear the blast of the laser, and then they're like, "Oh shit!" It's
Because they definitely they framed Pride to be the traitor, like with these long shots and stuff. And then it turns out he was the most devout one of them all.
Yeah.
But I thought the motivations for Hux's like being the informant. He wasn't. I guess he was a traitor, but it was like because it was just like because he's a dick. He's trying to be political.
That's literally the only reason.
Right.
Like he was happy for the entire First Order to fail in this if it meant he could rise up a little bit, which is pretty genius.
And that still sticks back by the Last Jedi where he's like,
Yeah.
you know, like and the bickering they had in The Force Awakens. And I wouldn't have bought him being a good guy because I read that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Alright, so you're ranking, or you're not ranking, your score.
My score, I'm gonna go for a 7 out of 10 so far. It did have a lot of weight on it, a lot of things to achieve, and I feel like it might have been really overly stressed or burdened with trying to do all that stuff. It just, it felt like it was really rushing through a lot of like, we're gonna get this exposition out, dun, 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 next. But it had like magic moments, and the ending, like the thing that like I wanted to happen in 2015 or early 2016 closed out the trilogy. I'm so happy about that, and I think the most important thing about the film is to make you like all the films more, like and
As a collection, as a unit.
and want to go check them all out again. And I feel like even though this bit of the journey was a little bit bumpy, from go to scavenger with no name to Rey Skywalker, like I feel like the journey's like been worth it for that, even though that it was at the end it seemed a bit like it was just hard to get all those things in and explain like the dynamics of the battle and all that sort of stuff. So gotta go a whole one day without seeing it. But
It's going to be tough, but we'll get through it together.
I look forward to watching again. Amy, where can the good people of the internet track you down on your
channel?
on your way more viewed channel?
Yeah, it's way more viewed than you guys. The movie checklist.
Hey, I'm a podcaster anyway. Okay,
Dude, Axel plays
I am
Minecraft on
also a
YouTube.
podcaster. No, actually, you guys are way more viewed than I am. But no, the movie checklist, or on Twitter at NotABK.
Or the podcast.
Or my podcast, The Nostalgia Effect, where we talk about our favorite childhood movies.
Hi, Rashad.
Yes, it's me. Hi. I'm on Twitter at iCosm. I think so. I or rcosm. One of the two. I'm on that. Will Communication. I host that with Justin, and I do YouTubes with you, and I do Sadu with you. It's been a while since we've done Sadu. We got to get back on that.
We can do on Thursday.
And then I'm also on Seismic Charges and the Bad Motivators.
Sal?
My podcast is The Rogue Rebels Podcast, where I talk with my family about everything Star Wars, which right now is Resistance and The Mandalorian. You can check out everything we do at theroguerebels.com, all of our costumes, Lizzie cooks recipes, and that's the thing.
You can follow me at Steele Wars, and if you're listening on podcasts, you're already subscribed. If you're on YouTube, do that as well. Hit subscribe. We're going to have a live show breaking it all down on, if I look at the date,
Yeah, I kind of need to know this.
the 11th of January. So that'll be at Scum and Villainy Cantina, and we'll be breaking everything down from this monumentous entertainment extravaganza. Thank you guys so much, and may that force be with you. Rey Skywalker.